It's exactly a month away until Dillian Whyte and Dereck Chisora fight for a second time. It's not for any belts, and it's on pay-per-view as well, which is a little bit difficult for me to swallow because, without being harsh, neither man is a star. And if you look at Chisora's record, he's 29-8. He's pretty much lost every time he's fought the top guys, and in Dillian Whyte, he's not really fighting one of the top guys, so very questionable pay-per-view. It's being sold on the understanding that it's going to be as good as the first fight, which, even though typically second fights generally aren't as good as first fights that were very demanding and real barn burners, to use an Ian Dark phrase, I feel the fact that neither man is skillful enough to shut the other guy out, they're both going to find it hard to get out of each other's way, so there's a good chance it will be as good as the first fight. A couple of other factors, they're both probably coming off the best performances of their careers, well, biggest wins anyway. Dillian Whyte beating Joseph Parker and Dereck Chisora beating Carlos Takam. And then a third point, they're both still really fighting for status. You could say they're both fighting to get that undisputed third best British fighter or third best known British fighter after Joshua and Fury. They're fighting for that status and another big payday in the future. Now, Dillian Whyte did show some vulnerabilities against Parker. He, of course, went down in the last round, which was a bit of a stain on an otherwise decent performance where he became the first man to floor the Kiwi. But I'd say that's levelled out a little bit by the fact that even though Chisora looked great against Takam, I think it was mainly down to a very smart game plan where he waited for him to work too much and then bombed him out with more economic but bigger and harder punches. So I don't believe in this new and improved rhetoric. It's not going to happen at 34 after you've gone to the top so many times and been knocked back down. It just doesn't work like that, and I'm certainly not going to believe sleazy car salesman David Hay going on about it. I do expect a similar fight to the first one. The first one, I probably would have had Chisora winning. I thought he fought edging it. He fought more at his preferred range. He hurt Whyte a couple of times. He basically made Whyte look pretty uncomfortable in there. He often had him off balance. And it was more his kind of fight. In the rematch, however, I feel that Mark Tibbs and Whyte are going to have spoken quite a bit about this. And I just feel with Whyte being a bit younger, and he should have a bit of a rosier future ahead of him, he should be able to make some adjustments. I expect to see a more snappy jab down the middle as Chisora comes in. He's going to use uppercuts like he did in the first fight, and then he should complement that with his improved left hook, which he shortened. It's a better and sharper punch. With it being a really do-or-die fight with Chisora, as it often is, this will be his last real big fight. Well, that's how I'll be viewing it. He will be absolutely going for it, biting down on his gum shield, and making it a very compelling fight. But again, I suspect the tactical adjustments that Tibbs and Whyte are going to make in this rematch are the adjustments that are going to make the difference. And that's why I favour Whyte to probably win via points. Possibly a late stoppage, but I think they'll be able, when both men are tired or hurt, I think they'll be able to just hustle each other a bit, grab, maybe even fight dirty. So I find it hard seeing one of them getting the other out of there. I think they're both going to have their moments, but Whyte just being a bit sharper is going to win the day, and that then will probably solve Anthony Joshua's April opponent in Wembley, and it will be Whyte Joshua 2, which I don't really want to see. I think we've kind of already seen how that fight unfolds in the first fight, but we're probably going to get that one. If Chisora somehow wins and it's going to be Chisora Anthony Joshua, that will be a bit random. I don't think that'll be harder to sell probably in terms of interesting real boxing fans anyway. But either way, a month's time, I expect a very good fight again, but for this time, for Dillian Whyte to get the decision and to deserve it more.